Hi, welcome to this week's Thought for the Day from Broard Wisley. My wife and I enjoy watching television dramas where the hero or heroine is tracking down the villains. As the various plots and subplots weave together, it's surprising how often one lone person will enter a darkened building in pursuit of the villains. Every time they do so, you know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to be attacked by somebody emerging from the depths of the shadows. We know it's only going to end badly, so we often say to one another, don't go in alone, wait for backup, or turn the lights on, or, as in a pantomime, look behind you. Of course, it's a pointless exercise because the actors and actresses cannot hear us and wouldn't deviate from the script even if they could. We are powerless to influence the outcome of the drama. Whilst God is not powerless to influence the outcome of life's dramas, I think it must be with a similar sense of frustration that God observes the way we humans live our lives. Watching us doing foolish things and knowing that it's only going to end badly for us must be just so frustrating. We see an example of that in the reading for the second Sunday of Lent that comes from Luke chapter 13, verses 31 to 35, known as the Lament over Jerusalem. The heart of that passage reads, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. Time and time again, God has sent prophets and messengers to tell us that our current behaviour is only going to end badly, but we ignore them. And in the specific case of Jerusalem, they had a history of literally shooting the messenger. I love the image of God longing to gather us as a hen gathers her brood. As this picture illustrates, there's a real sense of intimacy as the chicks seek refuge under the wings of their mother. Although I couldn't find any royalty-free images of them, I've seen pictures of mother birds using their wings to shelter their chicks from the rain, from the sun, and even from aerial attack by a bird of prey. They're literally putting their own bodies at risk in order to protect their offspring. It speaks volumes to me about God's desire to provide shelter and protection for each one of us, his children, and just how far he is willing to go to achieve it. In our passage from Luke, Jesus was lamenting the fact that not only had the people failed to listen to the prophets of the past, but the people of Jerusalem, and by implication the Jewish people as a whole, were also not listening to his powerful, authoritative teachings. Even with all his miraculous powers proving that he was sent from God, he was not able to convince them of the error of their ways or to respond to his message of love and forgiveness. It was not that they couldn't hear, it was that they were willingly rejecting his message. All they could see, especially those amongst the religious and political authorities, was that he posed a threat to their way of living. They just wanted him to go away and leave them alone. Jesus must have been so exasperated. He might as well have been shouting at the television. There's a risk that, looking back on these events, we see them as being a historical damning of the Jewish people, but I don't for a minute believe that to be true. I think Jesus is just as likely to be saying the same thing about people anywhere in the world, especially given the current state of our world. God was supposed to have a special relationship with the Jewish people, so yes, it was particularly poignant that they rejected him. But I think Jesus' words could just as easily be addressed to us here in Wales in the 21st century. Wales, oh Wales, you that mock the prophets and reject those who are sent to you. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. And the choice is ours. We either listen to Jesus' warnings that it won't end well, or we face the consequences of ignoring him. I, for one, would far rather couch up under the shelter of his wings.